We're back. What else do you want?
Yeah, so like we just said in the earlier one, in the previous review, we're going to continue on here for another one. And
DJ Khaled. Another one.
just in case, the full presentation for those that may not have seen the one before and are just catching this after the fact. I am Randall, this is my awesome, amazing friend Mac, and we love to review and talk shit about movies that we have ran into, found, crossed paths with on streaming platforms, or get recommended or voted on if you go ahead and follow our page. Go to the link above, you'll find that there's polls and stuff like that we set up for movies as well, that maybe you guys want us to check out. So, with that said, we're going to jump right into what we got going on, and that is The Dark and the Wicked.
Which this title just attracted me.
Yeah.
It was one day I was at Best Buy. You know, there's the Best Buy near me, which is a small movie section that they have going on.
Yep.
Yeah,
they really decreased their movie section heavy.
After
that hurt my soul when I walked into a Best Buy and saw no steel cases anymore. I was like, dude, no way.
Yeah, before it was like three or four rows of just straight up movies, and now the one by my house is like 1.5, give or take. And smaller end caps.
I love streaming services, but that's part of what hurts me about streaming services is how much of the physical copies we're gonna hurt and lose. You know, I thought it would kind of like what happened with comics. There's people who like digital copies, but there's people who still want the physical, and it's still to survive because of that. But
exactly,
God, it pains me to see such a decrease especially in a place like Best Buy where, it was for a bit the place to go to buy your fucking movies.
Yeah, that basically that's my go-to movie place after Movie Stop was taken down.
Movie Stop was fucking great.
Yeah. So I was at Best Buy just going up the aisles multiple times, just trying to. I had to go home with a movie, and this ended up being it. And plus, it gave me a free month option for Shudder, so I was like, hey, why not? Also, this is exclusive for Shudder right now.
Yeah, it's a Shudder original.
Yeah.
It's considered a Shudder original. And it is exclusively being shown on Shudder right now. So if you do want to see it and have Shudder, then you can go ahead and get on there. And either way, listen, this isn't a paid advertisement at all, but Shudder is fucking great. They have so many fucking different levels of horror movies. Not all are going to be great, but they have a good variety. And then they also get the awesomeness that is Joe Bob Briggs, who is exclusively on there, and Darcy the Mail Girl, which is fantastically, beautifully adorable, and fucking great. She is such an awesome fan of horror. I absolutely love her knowledge with horror, so you're missing out if you're not watching Joe Bob Briggs' Last Drive-In. Fantastic show to watch some movies with them, and get all the little factoids that Joe Bob puts together, all the countdowns of every single detail from the movie. It's fantastic. It's so much fun. So that's one of the reasons I subscribed to Shudder the second I felt all of that. I was like, I'm never canceling the service. I'll cancel everything else before I cancel this. But yeah, The Dark and the Wicked was also mentioned to me recently by Nilda, a friend that we both know.
Good taste.
She mentioned it to me, and that's why when you mentioned, I have these movies, and you mentioned Dark and the Wicked, I was like, let's do that one. That one got recently recommended to me. Let's check that out. So that's the reason I wanted to jump on it, was because it got recommended to me. And that it was told that it was a really good movie. So I was like, okay. Yeah. I'd take her word for it when it comes to that. So for sure, I was down to check it out. And finally we got to it. And this is an anxiety-filled movie. This one keeps you on your toes.
Yeah, explain.
It keeps you on your fucking toes because it
definitely does, yes.
From beginning to end, you're constantly kind of just wondering what the fuck's going to come around. The vibe of music and everything like that they use, or sounds, the scenery, everything, every little detail keeps you like on constant edge of like looking for something. It was really, really well shot.
Yeah, exactly. Even if you don't know what the movie's about, just by the cover of a female floating, it's like, and the title, The Dark and the Wicked, there's something evil is going to happen. You're just waiting.
The basic premise is there's a couple that lives on a farm. It's the parents of 2 other children. So the parents live on the farm alone. The dad's not doing too well. He's under the weather, and he seems like he's coming to an end. The children, the 2 kids, come from out of town to see how everything's going, check up on their parents.
Yeah, help out.
And the mom had warned them, don't come.
Not yet.
We didn't know why.
But she kept mentioning, you shouldn't have come. I told you not to come. But, seeing the parents at that age, how the dad's doing, they don't want to me, I got the impression they don't want the mother to be left with that burden, doing all that work. It's a family farm, so they have goats. Was it goats or sheep? I'm sorry. Sheeps. Or no, goats.
I think it was goats.
It's goats. So, even though they have like a family friend that helps out, still they want to lend a hand, be there for, their father and the mother. Also, too, this was also directed by Brian Bertino, which he wrote the storyline, I believe, for both The Strangers. So The Strangers and then The Strangers Pray at Night. If you've seen those 2 films, it's like a, how would I say that? Like a home invasion, real life type of scenario. Which I gotta rewatch those movies. At first I didn't really enjoy them, but probably being a little too harsh on them. But those movies, they're enjoyable. So yeah, the family, the 2 kids go over, they lend a hand, and they see their mother start acting super strange, super different. Muttering here and there. There's a nurse that appears that comes to the hospital, just checks up on the dad, and tells the kids, "Look, your mother hasn't been doing well. She's been talking."
She's a hospice nurse, I think.
Oh, hospice. Okay.
Yeah, I think she's a hospice nurse. Like, she's just coming to comfort on the dad's like last days.
And yeah, she's like, "Oh, your mother has been talking, but talking as she was talking to somebody." So
yeah.
That's when things like, oh shit, like what's in the house or what's gonna come.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of small details that come so much into play, and when they start unfolding, just come out fantastic. Like the little notions with the father that the priest that
father,
comes by, right, to check up on the mom, and then when his story unravels further and how it ties into things that were said and all that, it just becomes a little bit of a mind fuck there too, and you start noticing how this presence that's in that house is affecting everybody, not only in the house, but it's stretching itself out.
And his speech on basically, whether you believe in evil or not, it was really tense. It was like not tense, but like you felt. I mean, growing up Catholic, you know about God, the devil, whatever.
Yeah.
So that was really like, embedded in my head a lot as a kid. So, and then also believing in the supernatural, witnessing certain things in my own experience. So his speech was like, it really like hit me.
The way he said it was great. It was like, the devil doesn't care if you believe in him or not. Right? Like if you, like, it doesn't matter if you believe in it or not. He believes in you.
Yeah.
So that was like the whole holy fuck kind of moment type shit, right? Like that's where you're like,
exactly.
Damn, hellfire and brimstone is coming across this land, and we gonna feel it in full force. And yeah, it was really well placed.
Yeah.
When it comes to the the details of what is taking over in the house and what is consuming the dad what consumes the mom and starts consuming everyone under that roof, to the level that it does.
And what's awesome, to me, what's awesome is, this priest is saying all this, but their upbringing was, like just say, they weren't church folks.
Yeah, the mom wasn't a believer, never raised them up to be believers at all.
Yeah.
They never attended church.
And then out of nowhere, like, he's like, oh, your mom believes. And it's like, mind you, she's like
singing hymns.
Yeah.
She's singing a hymn throughout the movie.
That's true, which is, it makes your skin crawl, like...
Yeah. The hymn is, like, very... Damn, I wish I could remember what the hymn is.
So, and then just, you're like, all right, they weren't brought up, in church or anything, religious-wise. And then out of nowhere, she just starts believing, and she's scared and whatnot. So it just makes you think, how big this evil, what has she seen, what has she been told or whatnot, that, her beliefs just change out of nowhere. So what does she sing?
I can't find it. This is the soundtrack
It's
stuff.
something about a child and a mother, right?
Yeah. I mean, I can't remember this. That's not it. That's something else. That's another.
Oh, it's
song.
actual songs.
Yeah, that's an actual song. So that's something different. Yeah. But either way, it's a skin tingling, it's spine tingling kind of like song. Where every time you hear it creep up on you, and you're still like, holy fuck, like
Yeah.
It was really well done, man. I really enjoyed how they relayed the family connection, how close the sister and brother were at that time,
and also go ahead.
And his decisions leading towards the end of the movie too.
Oh,
like
correct.
everything how it played out was just like so in a sense relatable, like even if you're not in that same instance, like it's relatable to a degree, and it really connects in a way. So I thought that they did that very well with this movie to make it give you that feeling of like, a real life scenario kind of.
I think it's what I felt this movie brought along was basically based on. This is like a lot of guilt and suffering.
Yeah.
And also and the supernatural paranormal side of it, it shows what, people have witnessed separately and try to explain it to each other without sounding cuckoo or whatnot. So I really like that part. And Brian, the director, he's known to do like horror movies in such a small setting, The Strangers, which is like, in a house. Some movie called The Monster, which I think is just in a car, a mother and a child.
Yeah, he did another movie called Mockingbird.
Mm-hmm.
He did another one called He's Out There. The Black Coat's Daughter. He's done a few movies.
I gotta bring that one. I have yet to watch it fully. So
The Black Coat's Daughter?
Yeah. That's definitely one I guess we could watch. But yeah, since he's known for that, he made it so good. Like, it's like what you see in this movie is nothing new to a horror fan or somebody that's used to paranormal movies, but they do it and execute it so well that I found myself, and I think Randall found himself too, just jumping or like, cocking your head back at scenes that were like,
yeah,
did I just get scared of that? Like nothing happened, but
yeah, again, just the way they placed the sounds, the way they did the camera work, and when they would catch you with slight visuals or whatever. Or just portrayals of things, like the things that happened with the mom were freaky as fuck, man. It would catch you off guard. Very heavy. So, again, really, really enjoyable movie. I think it did do its job, which was to catch you and to give you that very much of that horror, legit horror film kind of vibe to it. I think they did a really good job. Kind of like how I felt like when I watched Quiet Place for the first time. Like, it was that vibe. Like, you don't need that much, but you get just enough to feel it, And you're feeling the anxiety, and you're feeling the moment and the presence. Even though you're not seeing the presence, you're feeling the presence. So, this to me was still heavier in presence than Quiet Place, for sure. But, but it's in that same vein, It's in that same kind of place for me.
And what I like about it too is just you don't know where this evil is
You never do.
You never do. So you have characters staying inside, going out. So you're just like, in my own head, I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Stay inside. No. And I was catch myself like, no, go outside. You know.
Well, remember, we found out that leaving and going outside didn't make no damn difference.
Yeah, just like what Randall said earlier, you know, whether you believe or don't believe on the devil, he believes in you. So
yeah,
it's coming for you, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is I'm agnostic as fuck, so I'm not into the whole, like, you know, I have my certain views on shit, but for sure it wouldn't be like the one that's I'm not gonna be a Bible thumper for sure. I have my views on certain things and the way I look at it, you know, and I'm one to never judge or never shut down anybody else's beliefs or faith or any of that stuff, because I feel like everybody deserves to have their own version. Like, whatever, it's fine as long as it's not, you know, offensive or hateful. When it gets to the hateful places where I have an issue, when people decide to hate on others and decide to be offensive to others because the beliefs are different, because the views are different, that's when you're losing a lot, you know. And that's the part that sucks. I don't have an issue debating shit. Don't hate me for debating the shit, you know. So the tone of this movie gets you really well, even more so if you're in that, in my similar mind space. It hits me for that, because I know how I view my shit and how I believe my shit, and this will definitely, like, not change your views or anything like that. It's not nothing like that, but it definitely will touch it. Like, it'll just be like, there's that right there.
It'll flick your beam, you know.
Yeah, it'll definitely flick your beam.
So, trying to find the budget for this film, I couldn't find it, but it did make about between $420,000 to $450,000 in box office. The numbers are just everywhere, so I'm gonna say about $430,000, give or take, that it made in box office.
I'm gonna have a feeling that if that was the case, this was a limited release.
It was actually supposed to be, I think, released in a certain film festival, but got pulled back.
So they just did, like, slight releases in a few theaters. Like, select theaters got the opportunity to have it, and then it was going to go right to Shudder after.
Yeah, it was supposed to be released in the Tribeca Film Festival, and it got canceled.
Yeah.
And then released, like, in November. Yeah, exactly. Like a year ago. Yeah. November 6th, 2020.
Yeah, and then COVID stalled everything, so obviously. But yeah, this was a very enjoyable film. Now, Mac, find yourself in this situation. You're in the house. You have a mom that's singing hymns and telling you things you never heard her say before. There's things in this house. You shouldn't come. Are you saying, Mom, I love you, but I'm out? Or are you sticking it through and, jumping in that shower with, a fucking invalid dad suddenly fucking jumping into the shower with you when he's, like, supposed to be
family therapy,
yeah, but dad was supposed to be, bed stricken because he can't fucking move, and suddenly he's in the shower saying, "Hey, how you doing?"
I haven't seen that thing in a while. Oh boy, so yeah, this is just us having fun, being who we are, just joking around, trying to make each other laugh.
Yep.
Hopefully it made you guys laugh. If not,
hey,
what else can we do?
What else do you want?
Yeah, what else do you fucking want? Shit. It'll be hard for me to leave.
Right?
Knowing what's happening, what's been happening, what I've seen, what my, let's say in this situation, what my brother has told me he's seen.
Yeah.
What happened to my mother, all that stuff is like, yeah, buddy, I want to get the fuck out of here, but yeah, I don't want to leave a good old daddy in bed alone. So it's really tough. I'll probably stick around.
Yeah.
And seal my fate.
I mean,
take care of the goats.
at the end of the day, it's like, what else are you gonna do? Well, remember, like, fucking 90% of the goats died anyway.
Mind, yeah. So if you guys have something against, not
Yeah.
against, but
This is not a spoiler to
Yeah.
anything significant in the movie. It's just, they went from having like 50 goats to having 2.
yeah, 2 to 5.
so,
mind
so
you, if you can't see yourself seeing goats
Yeah.
dead, not dying, not in the act, but the
yeah,
aftermath.
No, they do have some scenes that might be graphic to those that don't like the visual or the thought of animal cruelty to a degree. So that might be rough for some people. But yeah, I mean, I think, I land in the same place. I don't think I go anywhere. I'll be shitting myself the whole time. But, I don't think I go anywhere. I think I stick right there.
Yeah, especially like I said, again, everybody's different. Their relationships are different with their parents and whatnot. But if you see the movie, you see how that relationship was.
Yeah.
You get 2 options. You want to stay or leave.
And you'll see the result of either.
Oh, exactly. It's super well done. I wish more would have happened, but it was just enough, And like I said, it's a small cast.
Like, you obviously would have wanted more.
Yeah.
Like, more activity.
More activity, more...
But it's not like they gave you... I think that's just more of us just wanting to see a little extra.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been necessary, but it just would have been great. Like, I think that's, like, more so the point. Like, would have been awesome to have, like, a little bit more of that evil presence actually come out and do things, So, would have been nice, but, we got what we got, and in the end, it was still a very good movie that we both enjoyed.
Yeah, the human gore was very well done.
Yeah.
The blood, whether they use corn syrup or pig's blood, whatever the hell they use nowadays, that was fairly good. Some CGI, like blood splatter here and there, if you have a good eye for that. The acting,
knocked out the park, man. They
especially
were all
the
fucking
sister,
great.
the sister with her emotions.
Louise was played by Marin Ireland.
Yeah. She made me feel a lot, during the movie.
Yeah.
She was everywhere, emotional wise. She was a strong character, despite the actions that were happening. So yeah, man.
And you had pointed out something, the location where they filmed.
Oh yeah, so that was actually the director's family's farm. So that's interesting. A place he already knows, doesn't have to get any permits for it. Just say, here's my place.
Another thing to like mention with what he did with these movies is he used actors that aren't like really big names. He went with actors that are kind of just growing their process, and it's not like you're gonna grab Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie and stick them in a farmhouse. He went out and found people to portray these characters and didn't hunt out like names or actors that have been leads in anything before. So Michael Abbott Jr., who played Michael, obviously played his own name, but man, he was fucking great too as a brother. Like he was very, very believable when it came to his to a lot of his reaction to shit. Yeah. Even more so to his decisions towards the end of the movie. Yeah, like it was really well done. Now, Marin Ireland has been more of a stage actress. So she's even won Tony Awards for stage acting. That's more what she's done, and she's also in Umbrella Academy. If anybody who watched that, she's Sissy in Umbrella Academy. And she's in the Why the Last Man, which for some fucking reason they decided that they wanted to cancel, but they're just trying to find a new home. But Yeah, the most thing that she's done is more stage acting and theater work.
Mm-hmm.
So again, like the director chose to go a different route with actors, and it seems like it's a current trend that he does in most of his movies. So he's always seeking out talent out there, and he's not just going for like the big names and all that, which is a good thing. I love seeing that.
I mean, this film, let's say big names were in it, it wouldn't be that as believable as how they made it seem. It made me feel, you know.
Yeah, I think it's different when you see an actor you've seen in so many fucking things sometimes. Mm-hmm. You know, like when I watch The Haunting of Bly Manor or all those kind of things, I'm seeing people that I don't normally see, mm-hmm. and it threw me differently because I was like, holy shit, man, like it's fun, you know, when you see fucking, like if they would have put Ryan Reynolds to be the brother, you know, he probably would have been more sarcastic and jokey with it, but I definitely just would have seen, you know, what I normally see with Ryan mm-hmm. Reynolds, which is a guy that's fucking hilarious.
Exactly.
And I enjoy his movies, I do. I think Ryan Reynolds is fucking great, but I don't think I can see Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, so it would have been out of place.
Or even like Hugh Jackman. Like Hugh Jackman would have been great, but I still think the guy who played Michael fucking knocked it out the park.
Mm-hmm. So let's do the rating. You go first, senor.
Alright, so Dark and the Wicked, I'm going to go ahead and give this a 9 out of 10.
Wow.
Yeah. So 9 out of 10 mainly because I do agree with you with that one point, which is I wish there would have been a little extra bonus activity.
Mm-hmm.
I think we got enough of the mom, but I think we would have got like more of whatever entity that was consuming everything. Would have been great to get more of that presence to come out. Mm-hmm. I think unfolding a little bit more about the thing with the priest would have been great too. Mm-hmm. But you know, it just would have been additions to an already really good film.
Nice, dude, nice. For me, yeah, I will have to go again. I know it sounds like we're being biased towards the film. Well, we're not. We're giving our honest opinions.
Yeah.
Yeah, a 9 out of 10 for me as well.
We don't discuss these ratings or anything beforehand. We're literally doing them here live with you guys. Like, I don't tell them what I'm going to put it at. I just tell them that I enjoyed it and that was it. Or I kind of liked it or whatever. So all these ratings are legitimate to the moment.
Exactly. Even if we see the ratings on IMDb or Rotten Tomatoes, whatever, we don't look at the... so yeah, 9 out of 10 for me. What I do love about it, it's just, you know, you have a loved one, which they're super bad in health. You know, you've gone to the hospital, you've sought help, but they keep getting worse. It's like, what's the limit that you'll go to try to seek help, you know?
Yep.
So you think the mother, you know, she went that route, and that's why, you know, she does say, I made a mistake, you know, I shouldn't have done this.
Yeah.
So who knows what she did that, you know, all these events started happening. So that's something I loved about this film, which I would have loved to see, like, you know, like a little backstory of how she went about.
Yeah.
To get to that point, you know, get the father to that
point.
Yeah,
it would have been good to see how it came to be fully. We never got a full story on that.
Which I love too, because to this day I'm here just imagining.
Yeah.
You know what she did. And also, she's out there. It's in Texas. It's filmed in Texas, I believe. You know, in a family farm, so it's out in the boonies.
Yeah.
So mind you, you know, people's knowledge over there, or you know, remedies, or
it's all different. It's all different.
But yeah, fair enough. Jump scares for me. The gore, the supernatural aspect of it, I love it. So
the creepiness.
Yeah, exactly.
The creepiness with the hymns.
Exactly. So 9 out of 10 for me. Definitely, you can watch it up on Shudder, and I believe I saw it. You can watch it on Peacock or Pluto. Let me see.
Maybe AMC.
Amazon Prime. I'm sorry. On Prime.
Oh, it's on Prime.
It's on Prime, yeah.
Nice.
So definitely check this out. Would recommend to watch this at night. You know, lights off. You know.
Yeah. Make it romantic, because like that you'll get the most jump out of it.
Yeah, you know, get the most out of it. You know, get back to us. Let us know what you feel, how you felt about it.
Yep.
You know, did you agree with us? You know, did you get disappointed and it wasn't that as, you know, did we hype it too much? whatever you want, you know.
Just like I told you, I had a recent experience with The Quiet Place. That one of my friends watched it, and she thought it was the worst thing she ever watched.
Okay.
For her, she said she hated it, and I think it's more so because of the silence. There's some people that don't feel that anxiousness and that anxiety, and they're just like, "Why don't you talk?"
Oh, no.
And I think that's what happened in that situation.
Yeah,
like for me, I thought it gave me so much more anxiety.
Yeah.
Like it made me nervous, you know. And anytime I heard any kind of little leaf drop, I'm like,
yeah, fuck. No, and also too, I know, as you and I, we love reading subtitles.
yeah,
So that didn't bug us. Yeah, and The Quiet Place is like, you know, just put yourself in that situation where you cannot make any noise.
ever.
How do you communicate? How do you survive that? You know?
Yeah.
How much can you hold back, like, without screaming or bursting out?
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, 9 out of 10 for both of us. Or you can watch it on Amazon Prime or Shudder. Or if not, check out Best Buy. I'm not sure if they still have it. I believe I paid like $12, $13 for this. Super cheap.
It's worth the pickup.
Yeah, and they gave you a free month of Shudder, so see if they still have that deal. It was like a little sticker with a code.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for sticking around. Oh no, we still have.
Yeah, we still have to talk about one more thing.
Excuse me.
We have Separation, which was a random movie. Even though we also saw a bunch of little short films on YouTube, right? We saw.
2 different channels. Dylan Clark.
Yeah, Crypt TV.
Okay, so Crypt TV
and then Dylan Clark, right? What was the other one? So if you like seeing quick little short stories of horror, recommend these channels heavily. They have really great stuff, great production work, and incredible special effects, incredible makeup work done, and incredible little short stories. We saw one called, I think it was called Transfigure.
Yeah, from Dylan Clark.
Yeah, Transfigure.
Dylan and Clark.
Yeah.
Transfigure, yeah.
That was a very interesting little film that had to do Transfiguration.
Okay.
Right? Is it Transfiguration? Now I gotta make sure.
It's Transfigure.
Is it Transfigure? Oh yeah, Transfigure. Yeah, Transfigure. About a girl kind of like messing with Photoshop to like correct her picture.
Yeah.
And then the corrections start actually fucking happening to her physical body.
Yeah, because, you know, today's standards, so, you know, social media.
Yeah.
Apparently, you know, you got to make yourself look, smooth. You know, you can't have a pimple here, a mole here, any birth, marks or defects.
Yeah.
You have to look, pristine.
Everything is judged. And it kind of played into that a bit. And then things got a little bit more real than you would expect, and then the conclusion to it was just fantastic.
Yeah, it's a quick 4-minute film.
Yeah, really short little film, but enough to like catch you. And then Crypt TV has a whole ton of shit too, and they have some in series and seasons, and it's all short like clips. So it's like all 3, 4 to up to 7 or 9 minutes sometimes, and then it's a full season's worth of those that tie into like one longer story. But it's all short horror films or short, scary films. You know, he uses different terminology with some of them because some of them aren't as jump scary, and some of them are more jump scare. So, definitely recommend the one that we saw. Yeah, we saw
like 3 or 4 of Crypt TV, which I gotta thank Iris for showing me that channel, which I binge watched a lot of their stuff a while ago. But yeah, they range from anywhere from 2 minutes to 20 minutes when they do a special cut scene. But yeah, we watched one called Creek. It's the little girl in the bed.
Creek was great. Yeah, Creek was fucking great. That but that was Dylan Clark, wasn't it?
No, that was Crypt TV. Dylan Clark was the Transfigure, and then the frame one, the one with the frame.
Wasn't? Oh yeah, it's called the frame.
Yeah, those are the ones we watched from
Creek was which one? No, wasn't that
That was Crypt TV, the one with the little girl with the little teddy bear. She heard shit from the closet, just creaking. Then
oh yeah, Creek. Yeah, that was like 2 minutes. That wasn't even that long.
2 minutes.
Like a quick little 2-minute one, and then we saw.
I can't pronounce it. I know what it is, but I can't pronounce it.
Oh shit!
The one with the horns.
No. I know that one. We saw another one.
Birch.
Birch. Yeah, Birch. The Birch one was really good.
The Birch is a tree, I believe, right?
Yeah, Birch. Yeah, Birch is a type of tree, or a type of wood from a tree. But a birch tree is a lot of people use birch in campfires and shit like that too, because I think it burns up really easy. But yeah, it was called birch, and it had to do with like a creature that is made out of birch that protects a family to a degree. And then there's this kid getting bullied, and it gets really fun. It gets really fun. But
you get mixed.
the one that you're talking about is called Mordeo.
There we go.
Mordeo was fucking fantastic, because Mordeo, they connected all the first season, which became a 27-minute short film of a character that kind of looks something like this, actually, which is why I want to even point it out. It does look more like this, like the Voldegeist that I have right here. And the basic story of it is, if you eat human flesh, you become this creature, this monster that I guess lives off human flesh. Because that's as much detail as you get into it, but you just know that it takes over that area, that town.
Yeah, in that forest, yeah. You know, you kill somebody.
I think it's called like Elksburg or something like that, right?
Something like I think I said like the little slogan was like good people, good time, good eating, or something like that. But the transformation, Randall, I heard him. He was like, "Wow."
Yeah, they did a really good job.
Just amazing with the horns coming out, the flesh being torn off.
Well, the thing with the Crypt TV, what I pointed out to you, was a lot of like the monsters and creatures reminded me a lot of Guillermo del Toro style stuff, like really bizarre, really kind of out there, really curious on how they design it. You know, it's a little bit, not the common usual monster you would see. Like the Mordeo monster for me looked a lot different than anything you really see in other monster movies, to say, right? And then we saw the Talos or Telos or something like that. That was
like the magic 8-ball thing.
Yeah, like it was magic 8-ball one. That one, Talos, the monster in that was fucking crazy looking. I compared it to Baraka from Mortal Kombat. Yeah, they did a lot of good stuff, man. So I definitely recommend Crypt TV. But we saw those, and then that led to us watching another movie that Mac had heard about, and it was called Separation. Separation is basically a movie about a family that's being broken apart. One guy is a comic book artist that has fallen off from grace, and his creation has kind of like died away, faded away, and he's not been able to find active work in his industry for 3 years, while his wife is the hard earner, or the house earner, the breadwinner of the house, and she's reached the boiling point in that factor. So the home starts falling apart at this point, and then things start to kind of like get weird. Unfortunately for the mother, she ends up passing away in the movie. I'm not spoiling anything, because if you watch the trailer, you'd find out right away.
Yeah.
So the mom passes away, and all of a sudden the dad and the daughter in the movie start sensing things and seeing things and feeling things, and it all culminates to a very fun, like supernatural kind of like thing. And what I liked about this is it reminded me a lot of oh man, I'm trying to remember the name of this comic, but it's the same guy who draws Invader Zim. The characters and the way he drew, it was very Invader Zim like. God, I can't remember the name of it, but I know the name of the character in the movie was Grizzly, right?
The Grizzly Man, yeah, he's one of the characters that comes alive. Which to me, I told Randall, I was like, "Yo, this gives me Crooked Man vibes." Which Crooked Man is a character from The Conjuring 2.
Yeah.
And yeah, his artwork style, his comic book style is just awesome. It gave me also Tim Burton vibes. Mind you, so yeah, like what Randall said, there's a fight amongst the family.
Yeah.
The little girl does have a incident where she does fall.
Bumps her head.
Bumps her head.
That's what pushes over the edge the situation of the house and boils it over to the point of divorce.
Yeah, so you know the little girl, she's traumatized.
Yeah.
You know, mental illness comes into this film of a child being separated by their parents, and you know things starts happening. So you think to yourself, you know, is this the little girl's imagination? Is she creating all this? You know, due to a lack of having a stable home, stable family as well, or is this actually happening? You know, in real time in their universe.
Yeah. So the comic book that I was thinking about is called Johnny the Homicidal Maniac.
Johnny.
Which was drawn by the same guy who created Invader Zim. His name is Joan Vasquez. Like, he is just fantastically really wicked with the drawing, right? So the styles of the artwork in Separation really reminded me of that. And maybe this is why I'm going to be a little bit more biased in this film, is more so because the comic book aspect of it grasped me more, you know, and I loved the artwork that he was creating in the movie as well, so it kind of hit me differently because of that. So that might factor into my final take on the movie. But listen, man, the movie was really fucking good. Like, I thought the movie was good. It wasn't a great fucking movie, for sure. It was not a great fucking movie, but I felt it was realistic in theory. In fact, that, you know, it is a possibility. I know many people can have a different view on how certain characters are portrayed, but the reality is no one's perfect, and that goes for everybody. Every single body in this fucking world. Nobody's perfect. We all have our flaws. And that is just human nature and how we are. Yep. And in the end of the day, like, I thought the characters played their roles perfectly in this movie. I don't feel like anything was too strong in a sense where it's trying to send some kind of fucking message. I didn't get no message out of this. My view on this was like, you know, I wanted to see the monster or creature, you know, get fucked up. Right? Like, that's kind of the view. I don't want to spoil too much because then I'll give way too much away. And I feel like this is a movie I would rather you guys see without me spoiling anything. But the movie's gotten trashed and bombed in a lot of other places. And I feel it doesn't deserve it. I feel like this movie was a very interesting movie when it comes to the story and how they laid out the plot and how they created the monsters that they did in this movie. Because there's more than one. There's one primary, and you'll get the gist of who that character is as the movie gets deeper into it. You don't get the hint right away. It takes a minute. But once you find out, you're like, holy shit. And then you start noticing the connections, and it was really well done. And then the design of all the other little, like, characters or creatures that...
Yeah, the puppets and toys.
Yeah, the puppets, because... that's the other detail. So the main character in the movie, the guy, the father... which his name in the movie was Jeff Vaughn. Jeff also did puppets for... he used to do a puppet show that was very popular, which led to him creating the comic book characters that he created, and that was going to ultimately become like a TV show, and he created dolls for it and everything like that, and then things fell apart. And his wife kind of accused him of, like, self-sabotage in that situation too, which made it rough for him because he had a certain belief in what he was doing, and he felt like he wasn't getting that support there.
And then because nothing happened with the dolls or the show.
Yeah,
he ended up giving the dolls to his little girl.
Yeah,
you know, and you see her throughout the movie carrying at least one of the dolls. Appreciating her dad's work, you know, having all the dolls displayed and whatnot. So it just shows you the process of somebody's towards downfall, then trying to make it, you know, up the hill.
Yeah.
The never ending hill that, you know, we actually go in life, and you're rooting for this character to do so well, despite what's happening.
Yeah.
And like I said, every character is going through something. And you're trying to pinpoint things like
Yeah.
who's to blame for this? Is this person's actions the result of why this happened? So
you start trying to connect extra dots that might not be there, that might be there, and it becomes really it grasps a little bit more attention to that. Now, I will say, I probably would not have gone to see this movie in the movie theater. It probably would be one that I would say is best at home.
Yeah, which I was surprised. I didn't know this was released in theaters.
Yeah.
Until we found out later on, but I found, like I said, somebody mentioned to me or saw it online, and thankfully I looked it up. It was on Peacock. It's on Peacock for free.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay the premium. It's it's one of the free movies displayed in the streaming app.
Yep.
And apparently the movie made about $4 million worldwide.
4.5 mil. 4.5 mil worldwide as far as we see.
Yeah, because it came out April 30th of this year.
Yeah. So it's still, we can't find a specific budget for the movie itself. I don't expect it to be very high because they stay localized to about 4 locations in the entire movie. It was the home, the office for the
comic books.
The comic books and the mediation room where they're doing mediation for custody, and a coffee shop that they visited like twice.
Like a Subway too. The Subway.
I don't remember a Subway. I remember the coffee shop where she was kicking the cups.
The transition, the red scene. The dad was visioning.
Oh, was that a Subway?
Yeah, Subway. Yeah, it's in New York. So
product placement.
Yeah.
Yeah, if there was an actual Subway, then Subway pays some money there. But I don't think they spent too much money in this film itself. I mean, if anything, the only person who would have cost the most in this movie would have been the use of the wife's father, which was Brian Cox. Well recognized actor. He's been in a lot of things. A lot of people recognize Brian Cox right immediately.
He was a striker in X-Men.
Yeah.
I think it was The Last Stand or X-Men 2.
Yeah.
He was the old man in Trick or Treat. I forgot his name. He was fighting Sam.
The bus driver.
Yeah, the bus driver.
So shit, that's a spoiler.
What?
Yeah, he's the bus driver, because you don't find out till like the last
Trick or Treat, oh well.
You really don't find out. He's in a lot, man. He's been in a lot of shows. He was in The Game, he was in The Slap, he was in War and Peace, he was in Medicae. He's been in so many things, man.
No, exactly. And I think all the actors in the film did a good job, especially the little girl. Which she was in.
She was fantastic, and she was in The Haunting of
Hill House.
Hill House, yeah. She was one of the daughters in Haunting of the Hill House. She was fantastic, man. Yeah. That girl knows how to do horror really fucking well, man. For such a young age, man, they really. Man, she is fantastic. She is fantastic, man.
No, exactly.
Because I really thoroughly enjoyed Haunting of Hill House. It was fucking great for me. And Bly Manor also. I know Bly Manor isn't on the same level of scare as Hill House, but story-wise itself was fucking great.
Yeah, Separation is a fun film just to watch in a lazy day. Nothing to go crazy and watch it now.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's a spectacular movie. I wouldn't put it at the same level as like Dark and the Wicked, but it's definitely a worthier watch. It's not. I think Rotten Tomatoes had it at 7%, which to me was fucking ridiculous, man. Like, no
Popcorn
fucking
Time,
way.
I think had it at 35% or 37%.
Yeah, 35%. I think IMDb has it like at 4.7 out of 10.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that seems a little bit more reasonable than a 7% on fucking Rotten Tomatoes. Like, the Rotten Tomatoes rating for me was like, I just couldn't believe that it was that fucking low, that bad. I mean, I can see people seeing little minor details that probably could have been handled better. It could have been organized better. The plot was great. The plot was great, but storyboard-wise, it probably could have done a few things better. And capitalized more on emotion in certain scenes and certain things. giving more emotion to other characters probably would have been a great little note too, you know, to give a little bit more of an emotional tone to some of the other characters in the movie as well. But for what you get with this movie, which I'm gonna assume wasn't like a high budget movie, I'm gonna think this was a low budget movie, honestly. I think they did a decent job with it. It definitely was one of those movies that I didn't hate. I enjoyed it.
Exactly. And surprisingly, it's rated R due to some drug mentioning and whatnot. It felt like a PG-13 movie for me. Wish there was a lot more killing than what it gives you. You know, it's still, like I said, I still see it as an okay movie, but I wish, you know, more death would have happened. Because the characters, like I said, the ghost characters or whatever you call it, entities.
Yeah. But I think
so, like, the costumes were amazing. I think they would have used them more throughout the film, but they still wouldn't, like, it gives you, like, how would I put it, like you see the ghost character, but then it vanishes. It's like, no, keep them a little longer on screen, you know.
Yeah.
Let them do more. But yeah, man, overall, you know, it's an alright film.
Yeah.
I give the film, I'd say a 5 out of 10.
Yeah, which kind of stays in line with like where it was for like some people for IMDb. That you don't go too high on it, but it's a watchable movie. Like, it is a watchable movie.
Yeah, I'll probably watch it with my mom. Like I said, she's the one that introduced me to horror movies, so it's something to watch with her, to give her something new.
Yeah.
That, you know, she hasn't watched. But yeah, 5 out of 10 for me. Not gonna go too much into detail, as this is a newer movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, Randall, go ahead.
Well, first I wanted to mention the drug referencing in the movie was like at one point, the babysitter Samantha, right? What was her name? Samantha mentions, or was it Natalie? I don't remember her full name.
Yes, Nellie Samantha or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. But she mentions weed to a degree. She goes, "You want to get high and watch something," to the guy. And then the other one is when there's one character that's telling the main character how to fight the monster, and he tells him, "You need to take this," and he introduces him to a tea called ayahuasca, which is mostly used in like tribe type of environment. So this is like when you're gonna go out and search for your spirit animal kind of thing, right? Like it's that kind of thing when you're gonna. It's a psychedelic, right? More than anything, that's what it would be, is a kind of a psychedelic drug. So it's a combination of plants that becomes a tea for you to go ahead and blow your mind. So that's the reference that they mentioned to the reason why they would go ahead and do that. And then some of the artwork, I guess, would be, you know, not PG-13, because it would become like the violent when he was doing the darker comic books.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think for me, because of the comic book portion of it and how I am with artwork and seeing those details, I would watch it just to rewatch a lot of the artwork he had on there. I would probably give it a 6 out of 10.
Okay.
Just because of that. Like, it gives me that little boost up just because of like that comparison or that appearance of like something like Johnny the Homicidal Maniac. So it gives me that kind of a vibe.
Yeah, not only that, despite how the film is, but Randall does have a point. You just admire the artwork, the dolls, what was it? His clothing line, the clothing of his artwork on the shirts.
Yeah. A lot of little details that they put into like the clothing, and the style of it just was really different to what you're used to. You know, they didn't go with the generic clothing or anything like that. It all kind of pinpointed to a lot of the darkness that was going on around. So it was really well done when it comes down to it. But yeah, and at the end of the day, like I said, it was an enjoyable movie and one that I would watch it again. Definitely good plot. Definitely fun plot. Could have been done better,
Oh,
but
of course.
watchable. Definitely a watchable
Yeah,
movie.
for what it is, you know.
Yeah. So with that, we'll close out. We'll be back soon with more movies. We're probably trying to see if maybe we can get a new poll out there for you guys and post up a couple of movies you guys might be interested in seeing what we have as options and seeing what you guys think. Maybe there's something you might be more interested in than what we have in our upcoming queue, right? So we'll be back soon with more here on Ram Film Reviews. This is Randall. This is Mac. And please enjoy our ramblings and shit talking of movies that we are witnessing either for the first time or rewatching in different environments or different mental spaces, and definitely makes things interesting and fun with movies. Yep. So don't forget that.
Thanks for everybody that stuck around, joined us, will join us after this.
Yep.
Again, this has been Ram Film Reviews. Stay sexy.
Always.
And remember, you should not have come.